it is the Big L Award, the international version. What I'm talking about, stay tuned and you'll find out. The Wait a Minute Show. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota. Join the rest of us sports zombies on 2 Live Stews Radio. That's right, the boys are back. Doug, Ryan, and the rest of us, including me, the sports gov of Minnesota, Vince Wright, also known to the ladies as the Big Smooth. Keep it tuned here. That's right, 2 Live Stews Radio.
All music artists, lend me your ear. Looking for that hot beat to make your next hit? Go to FaroJaroMusic.com. Tired of paying for overpriced studio time for mediocre beats? Go to FaroJaroMusic.com. FaroJaroMusic.com offers industry-quality hip-hop, trap, R&B, and pop beats that will take your creativity to the next level. We know it's hard to find dope beats out there, so don't waste any more time searching YouTube or whack beat-selling websites. Go to FaroJaroMusic.com today to cop the beat for your next hit. Mixing and mastering services available too. Once again, go to FaroJaroMusic.com. That's FaroJaRO Music.com for the hottest beats in the game. Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2LiveStewsRadio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
This is number one Chief Rocker Jersey Vern on a Recap Monday doing his recap show. We're going to talk about sports, entertainment. We're going to have call interviews, on the spot calls. This just a show that will bring nothing but passion and joy and understanding to all the listeners on the 2 Live Stews radio platform. The number one Chief Rocker Jersey Vern.
This is Key C from the
Kicking It With Key C show.
On the newly rebranded 2 Live Stews Radio Network. We will continue to bring you the hottest, most interesting guests and commentary in the areas of social issues, politics, culture, music, and more. Continue to tune in.
Let's go, give it to you.
Yo, what's good? This is Trey Frazier. This is the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Make sure y'all tune in to us every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
He's the brain of operations.
I'm telling you right now, book it!
And him, he's along for the ride. But together, they bring you sports like you've never heard before. The Wait a Minute Show, a new way of discussing today's trending sports topics. And now, back to the show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, here in the Lion Den studio. Me and my man Lopan, who has, I think, stepped out as he always do. Now, Lopan is all over the place. But we were talking about before the break about some NFL news and some rule changes. So we talked about last week about them changing the catch rule, and now they're in the mix of possibly changing some other things, but also have made some changes to some other rules. So we're going to get into that tonight. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the possibility of the NFL eliminating kickoffs. And the reason that they're saying it is due to safety concerns. And I get it, but here's what they're saying. They did a trial where they changed the touchback, where it used to be if you did a touchback, you get it on the 20. Well, they changed it to if you did a touchback, it was the 25. And they were trying to encourage more players and more teams to take the knee in the end zone instead and take the 25-yard mark, starting off, the drive. And they also changed where they were kicking it off from so that there would be more end zone or touchbacks done. Now, there have been more touchbacks. I think there have been more guys downing it and taking the 25 yards instead of taking it out of the end zone. But what they're saying is that the concussions and the injuries are still happening because the kickoff coverage is still going on. So the chaos and the battle that goes on while the ball is in the air, guys are still getting hurt and guys are still, coming out with injuries. So they're thinking about just doing away with it all and just basically start off from 25 and go on from there. I don't know how to feel about that. Because with the kickoff, we all know, and safety is a big concern. So I'm not saying that, we should just ignore the numbers as far as like what they're saying about people getting injured. But it does take away a piece of what a team can do. We've seen how momentum can shift on a kickoff if a guy takes it back for a touchdown. We've seen how a game could be impacted on a kickoff where you can get your team into a shorter field or field position for a field goal to either tie a game or win a game. So a lot of players probably won't like that. And then other players is going to be the individual players themselves that would benefit from kickoffs. Because you got to be thinking there's going to be a lot of guys who, hey, this is where I make my bread and butter. This is what, this is how I make a living, especially if you are a kick return specialist, as they say. JY3 said big plays on special team. Yeah, big plays can be made on special teams. And I'm just thinking of a situation where a team may be down by 5. They need a touchdown. And they got maybe 30 seconds, at this point. And you really want them to run from the 25. You want them to drive 75 yards in 30 seconds, where they could possibly get a kickoff, get it to midfield, and then give their quarterback or to give their team a chance for end zone play, maybe, or something. Not just a Hail Mary. You got to think there's going to be a lot of Hail Mary, shots if you got that. But I get the whole safety concern. So as I was thinking about it, I don't know how safe this would be, but maybe this could be an alternative. I don't know what the numbers is, but I would be interested to see what was the injuries or head injuries. I think that's the biggest thing with them, with punt returns, punt coverage. There are, guys are not getting a full running start to blaze down the field to knock a guy out. And then also the guy that's catching the ball is not gaining a head of steam to try and knock the kickoff team out. Everyone, the ball gets hyped, everyone fights or whatever trying to get downfield. Maybe that's an alternative, is that instead of kickoffs, do punts. You punt from somewhere. I'll leave it up to them to decide where you're going to punt off from, but you do punt coverage, instead. And then that way, hey, if it ends up in the end zone, you still could take it at the 25 if you want to, or you could take it out you got to think that guys won't be at that high rate of speed as they would have been on a kickoff. Now, there is some things that you got to take into consideration, just like that whole situation I was talking about, 30 seconds, down by 5 or anything like that, or down by 6, whatever it is that you want to call it. If they're punting, are they going to just hang it in the air or anything? I mean, it could shank off the punter's foot. The ball could bounce, back the other way. There's a lot of pieces in there that maybe still could give that thrill to a certain degree of what like the kickoff was, for in that moment. But I think it's going to be hard to just remove the kickoff. I mean, it's been around forever. And I think a lot of people, do not want to see it go away. But if it's going to reduce injuries, you gotta take it into consideration. You gotta at least consider it. But we know, I'm pretty sure the players are not down for it because, like I just said, there's going to be guys that's going to be thinking, "Hey, my job is on the line. If there's no kick returns, they don't need me." They're going to get some other guy. They're going to focus on another position. At this point, I don't know. Because if you don't have that, then maybe they eliminate the special team spot in the Pro Bowl. Then, guys get impacted by that. Guys get bonuses, for making a Pro Bowl as a special team player. I don't know, but I haven't decided yet where I want to fall at on the fence. So I'm going to stay on the fence, with this. But if they eliminate it, maybe they may try like they did, with the 25-yard for touchbacks. Maybe they just go ahead and eliminate it, try it in the preseason, see how it goes, and at least get some data, get something that they can measure it by, and then get a feel for if this thing is going to work or not. Because last thing you want to do, you want to get rid of something that was kickoffs are electrifying. We all know, not just the big hits, but a guy take it back, even if you take it back deep or to the house, that is a momentum shifter. That have changed games. That has won games for people, So it's not just a little piece that they're taking, from the game. It's a big piece. And another piece that they're focusing on today that they decided to do was the helmet rule, basically leading with your head. And Roger Goodell was in the owners meeting. They were having an owners meeting, and they were discussing, all of this about the head injuries. And Roger Goodell was saying that, the helmet shouldn't be used as a weapon. It should be, something kept out of, kept out of the whole mix because it should just be for your protection. So now, what they are, I guess, trying to do at this point is that they're going to talk about 15 yards penalties. 15-yard penalties for targeting, I guess, is what they're going to say, or just using the crown of your helmet. Now, there is talk about ejecting a player, but they really haven't gotten to the point of, what they're going to decide is the reason or the definition of how you get ejected out. So they're still working on that. But here's the thing about the helmet rule. Two things that stick out to me. First thing is, it's a natural reaction. Guys have been doing it for years. I don't know if you can just change that. That is something that's just very natural for them to do. And it's going to be hard to try and change that behavior, especially and I'm really wondering on the offensive side. I forgot who said, someone else brought that up too. And I was like, that's a great point, with the offensive side, because we see a lot of times, especially the running back, they lowered their head, to try and deliver a shot. We already know the defense